So inside this box, I have the brand new Nike Tiempo, but more importantly, I have the brand new Nike Tiempo string bag, which as you can see, now has ACC technology. What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new Nike Tiempo Legend 8 Elite in the under the radar pack colorway. The brand new Tiempo bearing a retail price of $230 US. The Legend 8 being the replacement for the Legend 7 that came out nearly 2 years ago now and introduced a ton of new tech into the Tiempo series. Much of that tech making its way into the Tiempo Legend 8, some of it being taken away completely, and some new tech being thrown in the mix as well, making for a boot that I would argue isn't necessarily a huge improvement, but more so a step sideways. Is it truly better or worse though? That's what we're going to determine in today's video. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about these, including how they fit and feel on feet, please stick around, watch the entire video, and if you're interested in a pair of Tiempo Legend 8 Elites for yourself, you can click the little pop-up in the corner of the screen or the first link down below in the description. That's going to take you to the review page on my website where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $230 retail price. By the way, if you guys do end up enjoying this video, please don't forget to support it with a like. It helps me out tremendously. Also, let me know which comparisons you'd like to see on the channel with the Legend 8 down below in the comments. I'll try to make the most popular requests happen. Also, keep in mind that reviews of the takedown models in the new Tiempo line are coming very soon to the channel. So if you don't want to miss those, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. So included with the boots, as you'll get with any top-end model, is the gray and black Nike box, but you can see that they have actually changed up the size tag ever so slightly. That is what it looks like for those wondering. And they've also added this right here, letting you know that these boots are made from genuine kangaroo leather. And of course, as you get with any top-end Nike model, they include a string bag, which is black and blue in color to match the boots. And if you look very closely, you can see the same diamond pattern that is featured in the form of texturing on the kangaroo leather upper, also featured as a design element on the string bag. And then listed at the bottom, as you can see, are all the tech specs: Flyknit, Quadfit, and ACC. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty decent string bag, giving it a rating of 9.9 out of 12. As for the boots themselves, the upper is constructed out of 3 main elements: kangaroo leather, Quadfit, and Flyknit. The kangaroo leather spanning the vast majority of the upper. On the lateral side, you can see the seam is kind of unusual right here, but it covers the top part of the lateral side of the midfoot, spans the entire forefoot and toe box area, and then covers the entire medial side of the boot, going all the way to the heel. So from a leather perspective, it's still kangaroo leather, and you're getting more of it than what we had on the Tiempo Legend 7, and realistically more leather than we've had on the Tiempo for a very long time. But as you may have noticed, the leather doesn't exactly look like leather because of this strange diamond texturing that it has. And the way Nike has achieved this is actually by genetically mutating kangaroos to have diamond textured skin. What they actually did is took kangaroo leather and pressed a diamond pattern into it, resulting in a diamond pattern kangaroo leather upper, which has the benefit of being a diamond pattern kangaroo leather upper. Nike can say all they want about how the texturing will benefit control on the ball and improve your touch overall, but the reality of the situation is that the leather is so soft and the texturing is so minimal, especially once you have the boots on your feet and the leather is put under a little bit of tension, it pretty much smooths out entirely, and it's just not significant enough to really have any noticeable feel on the ball. And that's not to say that the texturing is bad, but it's more of a visual gimmick that exists to make the boots look different and unique rather than actually improve the performance. As for the kangaroo leather itself, the quality is actually decent. It's still soft, it's still flexible, and they do feel very natural on your feet in regards to how the upper moves with your foot. But because they've pressed in this diamond pattern, they have compressed the leather ever so slightly, and they've given it this slightly synthetic feel, kind of taking away from the plushness of what otherwise would have been a very pure leather upper. And honestly, I think without the texturing, if they just left it a little bit more airy, it actually would have resulted in a slightly better touch on the ball. And I want to be 100% clear, because that kind of sounded like I just said that the touch is bad. That is not true at all. I just don't think that the touch for a kangaroo leather football boot is as pure as some of the other options out there, but similar in regards to the Legend 7. And the touch on the Legend 7 is very good. Therefore, I think the touch on the Legend 8 is also pretty good, but it could be better. The rest of the upper is constructed out of a synthetic material with some Flyknit on the underside, but it's there mainly on the lateral side for the sake of structure, and of course runs through the heel as well. And then of course, as you'd expect on any top-end model from Nike, it also features ACC technology, which is invisible. Running through the middle of the boot, as it should on a Tiempo, is the lacing system, which is pretty much the same size as what we saw on the Legend 7, allowing for great adjustability, so I'm glad they haven't played around with that. And you'll also notice that this does have an elasticated Flyknit tongue that is very similar to what we had on the Legend 7. Without the texturing though, it's still a decent thickness and has some good softness, but it's not just a straight Flyknit tongue filling in the middle anymore. It is now a Flyknit Tunnel. It's kind of difficult for me to show you, but you can see that if I pull the upper away, that Flyknit tongue continues all the way through the medial side and wraps the entire arch of your foot. And with the insole removed, you can see even goes underneath the insole, reattaching basically at this point of the base of the boot. And the reasoning for that is Nike decided that it was a good idea and it felt like the boot was more secure on your feet if you had this sock-like element wrapping the arch of your foot. I think it's a good idea. I think it feels good, but on a boot like this, where the star of the show should be the leather, you end up with a pretty significant amount of knitted material in a spot that really isn't super necessary because there's no real structure element to this. It's not providing any extra responsiveness or lockdown. It's kind of just adding bulk to the medial side of the upper, where you're going to be making contact with the ball quite a lot. Which brings us to perhaps the most important element of the new Tiempo Legend 8, the Quadfit system, which I actually quite like. If I pull this apart ever so slightly, you can see internally that silver material. Quadfit, of course, being a technology that carries over from the Nike Phantom Vision, which was introduced several months ago, actually almost a year ago now that I think about it. Either way, basically what you end up with is kangaroo leather on the outside, a liner backing that kangaroo leather, then you have your Quadfit system that attaches directly to the lacing system, then you have your Flyknit kind of wraparound tongue thing through the midfoot, making for quite a bit of extra material, especially through the midfoot area of the upper, which, like I said, does make for a bulkier sensation than I was honestly expecting. As far as the Quadfit system is concerned, it is the reasoning why they were able to get rid of all the internal structure, the support cage that was found on the Tiempo Legend 6 and Legend 7, and the Quadfit system does its job. What you're gonna find is that the Quadfit system basically has 3 attachment points that are very difficult for me to show you within the lacing system. So it attaches here, here, and here. So when you pull the laces tight, because there's little lace loops that attach to this Quadfit mesh material, which is basically like a very highly structured sock, but without any actual structure. It just feels like a soft sock, but under tension with the lacing system, it does a really, really good job of locking your foot in place, but still maintaining flexibility and overall good comfort. It doesn't feel like it's squeezing your feet, but you're getting the proper lockdown. So while the Legend 8 maybe feels a little bit more chunky than the Legend 7, one complaint you could have with the Legend 7 is it felt a little bit too structured. And with the Quadfit system, it allows for a much more natural sensation in regards to the softness of the upper across the entire foot, which you didn't have with the previous generation. Moving to the rear, you'll find the Tiempo Legend 8 features a familiar design if you're familiar with Nike's other products, and that's because this is more or less 90% of what you're going to find on the Mercurial Vapor 12 Elite. Yes, a mercurial element on a Tiempo boot. That sounds kind of bad, but it's not all bad because this is actually pretty decent. There is an internal plastic heel counter, of course. It does still feature a low-cut construction, a little bit of that kind of elasticated Flyknit edge to it, like you have on the Vapor 12 Elite. And then internally, it features a nice synthetic suede material with a decent amount of padding. Again, very similar to what you'll find on the Vapor. In my opinion, kind of a step down from what we had on the Legend 7, which I think has one of the best heel liners we've ever seen. But at the same time, this is less bulky, which is good. But considering the rest of the upper is a little bit more bulky, I don't know, it is what it is. The insole is of course fully removable. It features the Nike Grip mesh liner, which just feels like regular mesh if I'm being perfectly honest, and it's the same insole that carries over from the previous generation, made from this yellow foam with pour-on foam inserts in the heel as well as the forefoot. One of the better stock insoles you'll find on any top-end football boot. And then moving to the base of the Legend 8, you'll notice that it is completely unchanged from the previous generation. It's still the hyper stability sole plate, which actually I think is quite decent. It's got good flexibility, a nice natural feel, especially through the forefoot. And then the FG stud pattern from the previous generation of Tiempo. There's not really much that has changed about the Tiempo stud pattern over the years, if we're being honest. This definitely being the most aggressive variation with the bladed studs in the heel, the kind of mercurial-esque chevron studs at the tip of the toe, and then all conical studs that actually provide a lot more bite than you might expect. So it's a more traditional style of stud pattern, but with more bite than the average classic football boot would provide. Which brings us to the weight, and considering the base of the Legend 8 is the same as the Legend 7, I expected the weight to be pretty similar, and it is for the most part. In a size 9.5 US, the Legend 8 Elite weighs in at 7.55 ounces, the equivalent of 214 grams, which is roughly about 0.4 ounces or 10 grams heavier than the Legend 7 Elite that it replaces. So they haven't improved it in regards to weight, but as far as top-end boots go and as far as boots in this category are concerned, it's still pretty light. So I've swapped out the stock black laces, which look fine, but they're kind of a strange choice given the fact that the upper isn't actually black. It's like a really dark gray, almost like a gunmetal color, for some sky blue or light blue SR4U replacement laces. They add the reflective bits and the blue accents very nicely with all the blue accents that you find on the upper. Plus, so many people are going to have the exact same color. This makes yours look that much more unique. So if you're looking to change up the style of your boots in a very inexpensive way, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen as well as a link down below in the description. So if you're interested in some, be sure to go ahead and check that out. So on feet, and kind of unsurprisingly, the Legend 8s feel really, really good. The Quadfit system in combination with the Kangaroo leather upper and the hyper stability sole plate just makes for a very natural sensation on feet. There's really no stiffness to the upper, which I guess you could say is an improvement over the Tiempo Legend 7, which did have a lot more structure through the Flyknit and the Flywire and all the internal support cages that came along with the midfoot and forefoot area of the boot. This just feels a lot more consistent all the way through, but still nice and secure on your feet. The heel area is much more like a Mercurial Vapor 12 than it is a Tiempo Legend 7. I preferred the heel construction and general liner and the extra padding that you got with the previous generation, but this definitely feels good. As a whole, in terms of width, the shape of the boot hasn't really changed in comparison to the previous generation based on the fact that it is on the same hyperstability sole plate. So if you fit in the Legend 7, you're going to fit in the Legend 8. And width-wise, I would say they're going to be suitable for most people, even if you did have wider feet. I just don't see these not fitting pretty much anyone. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US, and the fit and length is perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair for yourself, I'd recommend going true to size for the best possible fit. So in conclusion, is the Legend 8 good? Yes. Can I recommend it? Yes. Is it better than the Legend 7 Elite? That is where I can't exactly say yes 100%. From the perspective of feeling more natural on your feet, in that there's just less stiffness to the upper because of the way that they've added structure through the Quadfit system, yeah, it's better than the Legend 7 in regards to that. But in regards to overall touch on the ball and bulk, not to say that the Legend 7 or the Legend 8 are bulky boots, but this definitely does have a bulkier sensation than almost any other top-end model that I can think of right now from the big three brands, which is not all bad because the feel on the ball is still really good, and it is kind of being marketed as a defender's boot. And I know I'm totally against boots by position. I think it's totally meaningless at the end of the day, but as a defender, if you're looking for a football boot with a little bit more protection, this definitely does have that on offer, which is something that we don't see from too many modern football boots. And in comparison to something like a Copa 19 Plus, which is extremely thin and offers no protection, and a Puma King Platinum, which is super thin and offers no protection, this beats out those boots in that particular regard. It's responsive, it performs the part, it's soft, it's comfortable, the traction is very good, it's lightweight, it's a solid pair of football boots. but I can't say that it's a step forward. It's more so a step sideways. Anyways, guys, that's it for my review. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself in this colorway or the white colorway, because there are 2 launch colors for the Legend 8, link down below, go ahead and check it out. It'll take you to the review page on my website where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $230 retail price. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.